Hey babes, I just wanted to hop on, go over setting up your trackers as well as your book list and your podcast list and just kind of give you some ideas on that. Okay, so first things first, this is going to be super fast and super simple because most of it's pretty self-explanatory, but I wanted to make sure that you guys have all of your questions answered that you guys have sent over to me. So the way I would set up the fitness tracker is I would go in and I would assign a color to this little box here. And it does not have to be perfect. And then I would be like, okay, this is, I don't know how you guys set up your workouts. This is just personally how I set up mine, at least when I'm working out. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I've been really on it because I haven't. But I would go in and I would be like, abs, that's going to be this color. And then I would go in, I would select another color. I think this is actually too bright for you guys to see. No, it's not perfect. I would select another color. I would go ahead and just assign something else. So I would be like booty, because, you know, you got to get them abs and booty in, right? And then, again, like just keep kind of going through. You can also do things like HIIT, like if you do a certain style or like run a mile or, you know, whatever it is, cardio, you can kind of customize these and you can always add more. You should have room to do that. And then what I would do is, oh wait, one last thing that I want to make sure is so important. I'm going to put this color because it's my fave. Put in a rest day. The reason I always recommend doing this is because you kind of feel bad when you have them left blank. So this way you can be like, I rested this day. Like it's the first, come on, seriously, who's working out? And like I rested this day and then this day, and I'm just filling this in hypothetically because I haven't been working out. Again, I'm not going to sit here and play with y'all, but this is one of my goals, and I'm not even hoping because I know I've used trackers before and I know they do help. So again, just kind of go in, fill them out, no problemo. Again, for me, I'm like, I think today's like the 13th or something, so I could go in and just fill in rest for every day. And it's like, no big deal. We're not going to get down on ourselves that we've got big sections of my favorite color in here. Again, pick something that you really love for rest. So that way, again, if you're resting, if you skip a day, whatever, doesn't matter, you don't get down on yourself. All right, now let's go through and do our cleaning tracker. Okay, so this is how I'd set up the cleaning tracker. So you've got weekly, you've got bi-weekly, and you also have monthly. I love my colored pens, so I highly recommend. I actually use #not-sponsored, but I use the Pilot G2. I absolutely love them, and this is the pen that I personally recommend using, but you can use literally any pen. You can also, too, just write in a black pen and use some kind of like a marker or highlighter to highlight or like just kind of mark out these areas. So the way I would do it, though, with my colored pens is I'd come in and say, okay, my weekly cleaning, I know I need to do my bathrooms. I also know for my weekly cleaning, I need to do my floors. And once a week, I am going to change my cat box. I'm like trying to think of what all I have. So then every week I would just come in, like we've got week 1, I would color a little bit of the blue. Like, yep, I did my floors. And yep, I did my cat box or my bathroom, and I did my cat box. And then like the next week, let's say, okay, I did my cat box and I did my floors, but I didn't do my bathroom. So that's kind of how you can track your weekly, and then you're just going to go through same concept with the bi-weekly and the monthly. If you want me to expand on that, just drop a comment below, but just for time's sake, I'm not going to go over that because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But again, don't feel bad if you have questions. It may not be that self-explanatory as I realized. All right, I will move on now, and we are going to go to the books and podcast section. Okay, so for the books and podcast section, you can do this one of 2 ways, in my personal opinion. You can do it as, like, as you go, essentially. So, like, I can actually just go ahead and give an example. So, like, I read the 4-Hour Work Week. 4-Hour Work Week. Oh, I write too big for these little things. So that's what I would do. I'd go ahead and fill it in pen, and then, like, maybe go ahead and color it because I like to do stuff like that. Or, so fill it in as you go and do it with pen, or you go in, fill them all in with pencil so you can kind of readjust as you go. And again, if you don't want to read 4 books, babe, just like color the rest of them in pretty, or like put the name over across all of them. I know we're starting our book club, so if you only read the one, at least you'll have one to fill in here, or omit the page altogether. Anyway, back to my main point. I just always want to make sure, like, if this isn't your jive, like, don't force it. Find what works for you. I'm just trying to say this is what helps me. So the second way that you do this, and this is the way that I kind of like to do it, is take a pencil, write them all out in pencil, just kind of lightly, and be like, this is kind of my idea of what I'm going to read when. So I kind of have, for me personally, it's like this way I kind of have a structure, and I know what I'm trying to read and what all I'm doing and planning it all out kind of. And then as I go in and as I finish it, I will say, okay, I finished this, so I'll color it in. And I finished this one, and I'll go ahead and color it in. That way, like I said, I have kind of a tracking system, but B, I also have kind of a reward. I know it sounds weird, but for me, it's like so fun to come in and like color these. All right, so that's, again, how you're going to set up the books. I'll go over podcasts real quick, even though it's a very similar concept. Okay, with podcasts, you've kind of got a couple of different options on this. So you can do the same thing with the books where you can fill it in as you go. The way I like to do this, because I listen to a ton of podcasts, so I actually do this one reverse. Instead of writing them all out in pencil and saying, okay, these are the podcasts that I'm going to listen to in January, since I listen to so many podcasts, if there was a podcast that particularly stood out in January, I like to go ahead and put it in. So this way I can kind of go back and like reference and just kind of have an overview of like what amazing podcasts I listen to. Again, we are going to start a weekly podcast, so you'll actually start getting podcasts weekly. So if you're not listening to podcasts and you want to start, I've got you hooked up on that. No worries. But this will give you just kind of, again, a nice little breakdown. You can fill it in advance, or you can go ahead and just leave it open and fill it in as you go. Test it out. Again, these are printable, so you can print out a couple of pages and just kind of figure out what is going to work for you. Or if you're doing digital, you can do the same thing. Just have a couple of copies of them. All right, that is all I have for you today. I hope this helps and it answers all of the questions that you guys asked me to answer. If you have anything else, please feel free to reach out. I love you guys so much, and I will talk with you later. Bye.